In the part 1 of this lecture, it was explained in detail why we people are in the requirement of writing an operator overloading function as a friend function, right? So in this part 2, I am going to present an example that is going to make the things clearer. Now see, this is a sample program. The class goes like this. The class has got two instance variables. One is for rupees, another is for paisa, and the names have been designed as RS and PS. These are these are private instance variables. As far as constructors and member functions are concerned, they have been placed as public. Now see, concentrate on this particular constructor. This is the constructor which I have explained in the previous part 1 that this is a constructor with default argument value. See carefully. This means if I am going to create an object of this class, and at the time of creation of the object I am passing only one argument, that argument would be put into this instance, into this formal argument rs1. So ps1 would be automatically assigned the value 0. Now see next. Now first I go to the function main. Here I am going to instantiate two objects, namely obj1 and obj2. obj1 is being passed the values 20,000 and 70, and obj2 10,000 and 50 respectively. As far as obj3 is concerned, this is the object which is going to contain the sum of these two objects, and in one of the cases one object and one constant integer value is going to be added. See, obj3 is equal to obj1 plus obj2. In this statement there is not going to be any concept of current object. Why? Because operator overloading function that has been written for overloading plus operator, that does not happen to be a member function of the class. That is an external function and which has been declared as friend function by the class. So as no concept of current object is going to be there, both the objects obj1 and obj2, they would be passed to the formal parameters dobj1 and dobj2. So rest of the function is very simple. We are going to add rupees with rupees, paisa with paisa, and we are going to put the result into the rupees of tobj and paisa of tobj respectively. And ultimately we are going to return the value of tobj, which will be returning back and getting stored into the object obj3, back into the calling function. Now see, obj3 is equal to obj1 plus 5,000. Now obj1 is going to be passed to the formal parameter dobj1. See guys, what will happen to 5,000? Now if we go back to the operator loading function, we see second formal parameter 2 happens to be an object of the transactions class, but we are passing a constant value 5,000. So as I have explained in part 1, this 5,000 is going to be first passed to the constructor with default argument values, and automatic conversion is going to take place. This 5,000 value will be put into this formal parameter rs1, and ps1 formal parameter is going to be assigned the value 0. So later on what I have done is I put the value of rs1, that is our formal parameter, into instance variable rs. I am going to put the value of formal parameter ps1 into ps. So what is going to happen is the value 5,000, that is a plain integer value, will be first converted into an object by this very special default argument value constructor, and then that converted object would be passed to dobj2. So in the function operator loading function that is going to overload plus operator, we people are going to add these two objects, because now 5000 will be considered to be an object that has been converted into an object. Both the objects will be added together, result will go back, return TOBJ, and result will be put into again obj3. obj3 will be displayed again. obj3 is equal to 5000 plus obj1, because 5000 happens to be a plain integer value. It has to be converted first into an object. So the control will again go to the default argument value constructor. It will be converted into an object, and later on it would be passed to this operator loading function. This time over, the value of 5000 is going to be put into the first formal parameter dobj1, and second is going to be put into dobj2. Same processing statements are going to take place. Both the objects are going to be added together, result is going to be put into TOBJ, and finally that will be returned back. Again that is going to be put into obj3. obj3.display is going to display the values. Thank you.